named Kathy wants a little of my time. 6 cylinders underneath the hood, crashing and kicking. Ah, listen to the engine whine. I am gonna make it through this year. If it kills me, I am gonna make it through this year. If it kills me.
When I was a kid, I dreamed of 2023. That was the future, man. You'd watch some science fiction movie, and they'd show you a dystopian future of 2023, and the world would be run by cyborgs, and we'd all have flying cars and transporters. But here we are. 2022 was a pretty wild year of podcasting here at Toronto Mic'd. The first episode of the year was number 977 with Kim Clark Champness. The final episode, excluding this one, was episode 1177 with Precious Chong. That's some crazy and completely unintentional symmetry. My keen math skills tells me that's 201 episodes dropped in 2022. And I'm exhausted just thinking about it. I enjoyed all 201, but there were some personal highlights. Dave Thomas exceeded my lofty expectations. There were stellar in-person debuts from Donovan Bailey, Mike Cooper, Reshmi Nair, Liz Braun, Ian Blurden, Jim Cuddy, Roger Christian, Jane Hodden, Brian Good, Marcia Young, and Julian Taylor. I finally got to speak with Jeannie Becker, Martha and the Muffins, Cynthia Dale, Gowan, Dan Hill, John Biner, Ian Thomas, Chuck Swirsky, Barney Bentall, Ray Don Chong, Brian Trottier, Hal Johnson, Wendy Mesley, Torquil Campbell, Kay Pompey, the Dancing Cowboy, Spider Jones, Marcy Ian, Bill Wilichka, Terry David Mulligan, DJ Dwight, Sharon and Bram, and Jeremy Hotz, amongst others. I reunited Gord Stellick and Damian Cox, Leo Roudens and Rod Black, Steve Paikin and Bruce Dobigan, Blair Packham and David Quinton Steinberg, Ron Hawkins and Stephen Stanley, and Kevin Shea and Steve Waxman. There were PPMM episodes with Brother Bill and Cam Gordon. That's Progressive Past of Modern Melodies. Micumentaries and tributes to 102.1, 1050 Chum, and The Fan 1430/590 with Scott Metcalf. FOTM favorites returned, including Tom Wilson, Mark Hebscher, Steve Paikin, Ralph Benmergui, Art Bergman, Dave Hodge, Tara Sloan, Terry Hart, Ed Keenan, Gare Joyce, Roger Lajoie, Dave Bedini, Rob Pruce, Michelle Mackey, Ron James, Jeff Woods, Maureen Holloway, Michael Barclay, James B., Johnny Dovercourt, Mike Wilner, and Peter Gross. 3 FOTMs were elected on the same night. Amber Morley, Stephen Del Duca, and Diane Sachs. Jackie Delaney's debut was the first dose of real talk that would eventually result in Q107 parting ways with longtime morning man John Derringer. There was also episode 1066. And if you know, you know. There was the Dean McDermott, Mary Jo Eustace episode. I wonder whatever became of those two. Pandemic Fridays came back as Toast, and Stu and Cam visited 11 months in a row until being temporarily replaced by Coy and Vance. Mark Weisblot visited every single month. But sadly, we lost 2 FOTMs for the first time in the history of the podcast. Andrew Crystal and Al Mayer passed away. Shout out to Ridley Funeral Home. Then there was episode 1000, the epic 5-hour, 40-minute, and 31-second episode featuring 200 unique voices. Did you hear it all? I'm thoroughly impressed if you did. That episode 1000 got me on CBC Radio's Here and Now with Jill Deacon and a 2-page, 4-color photo spread in the Toronto Star. Darn right I framed that. Episode 1000 was followed by the 10th anniversary of Toronto Mic'd, which we celebrated at TMLXX at Great Lakes Brewery. They were amazing hosts, as always, buying everyone a beer and giving us the lawns by the patio on a gorgeous Thursday night. Rob Pruce, Blair Packham, and Danny Graves from The Watchmen entertained us brilliantly. That TMLXX was the second of 3 TMLX events we had in 2022. The first was a Lower Key Park gathering in May. And earlier this month, we enjoyed TMLX 11 at Palma's Kitchen. Great Lakes Brewery and Palma Pasta are 2 of the best partners an independent podcast could ever ask for. Thanks to all who came out to an event this year. The plan is to have 3 more in 2023. And if you've never been, it's time you make your debut. Details to come. 2022 was great, and I'm looking forward to more real talk, fun facts, and mind blows in 2023. We're kicking things off with Lorraine Segato from the Parachute Club, who's getting the Order of Canada later in 2023. A couple of sponsors were on short-term 3-month deals, and a long-time sponsor is moving on after several years of amazing support. So there is an opportunity here. If you'd like to get your product or service in the ears of GTA Gen Xers, I'm Mike at TorontoMike.com. Reach out and let's talk. That goes for you too. I love listener feedback. It fuels me. I read every email sent to Mike at TorontoMike.com, and I reply when I can. If you're still on Twitter, my DMs are open at Toronto Mike. There are a million podcasts in the world, and if you've chosen to listen to this one, I'm forever grateful. And that brings us to the end of our 1178th show. Bring on 2023. Happy New Year, FOTMs, and peace and love.